Hi, so it's day 18 of my 31-day challenge, and the question today is, what keeps you up at night? I know the answer to this because last night I had a heck of a time going to sleep. Normally I go to bed around 10. Last night I was up till 12. I think it was 12:30 actually. So if I drink a lot of caffeine, I'm like everybody else, right? The caffeine's going to keep me up. Well, yesterday I didn't have one cup of coffee. Well, I did. I started out in full mode of sticking to my guns about not drinking too much coffee or having caffeine of any sort. So as the day wore on into the afternoon, my resolve weakened a little bit. And so I had 2 cups of coffee. Well, I had a second cup of coffee, and it tasted so good. But I knew that I would have a heck of a time going to sleep. So, I stuck to my rules with my diet and everything else for the day. But the coffee, that one extra coffee, put me over the top. So, so I have to be very vigilant about what time I allow myself to have that last coffee. And normally it's just in the morning, that's it. But you can get caffeine in all sorts of things, right? Well, I'm on a strict intermittent fasting. I do OMAD, and so that's 1 meal a day between 2 and 6 o'clock at night. And so, so it kept me up. But if you're talking about generally what keeps me up at night instead of specific things that I've done wrong with my diet, worrying about my children will keep me up at night. Not having contact with someone for a long period of time and concerned about them, that would keep me up at night. And I'm lucky that I can afford the internet, which is very, very expensive, and it cuts into the budget quite a bit. But with the internet, it's easier to gain access to connections to other people. A lot of the times I just have a simple phone. I'm not wealthy, so I have a simple phone. I have a very small phone plan. I pay I think it's $25 a month, and that suffices me. That's all I need. So, and I basically need it for emergency calls and things like that. It's not a big deal. However, having the net and having access to things like, Facebook and even Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I might learn how to do it someday, but right now I'm not interested. So all those access to those extraneous type of communication devices, that's all I can call it, because it's not something that I desperately need, and I want to pull away from it eventually. But in that instance, I'll be living closer to the connections that I need, the supportive network that I need, and so I won't need to access like Facebook and things like that. That's the only reason that I have Facebook. Absolutely only reason that I have Facebook is so that I can connect with those people in my life that are important to me, my children, my grandchildren, few cousins, right? There's maybe 2 or 3 cousins that I connect with on Facebook, and just to know that they're alive and they're thriving, and that's it. And as you get older, at my age, at 63, as you get older, you need that connection. You need that little, tete-a-tete once in a while, not only for mentally, but psychologically, you need it. You need to feel like you're part of something, and that's an important part of the aging process, is feeling like you still belong. Because there are many instances where, as you get older, people forget about you. They forget about you. You're not viable. You're not first and foremost in their mind. They're not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to phone so and so to find out how they're doing." I don't get that. I don't get the friendly visitor call. I don't get that, no. Because they know that I'm very self-determined. I'm very independent. I can take care of myself in whatever instance I find myself in. I can take care of myself. Yeah, it's nice to have someone that I can call and say, "Listen, I ran out of money. Can I get $10 so I can get some bread or some milk or something," right? And it doesn't happen often, but this is as true as it gets. My channel, I'm not shooting you no horse crud. Okay, I'm going to tell you like it is, and it is tough. It's tough, and so there's times that I need, a little extra dollar for the laundry or to go get some milk, or yeah, times are tough. And any of you out there who are on the other side of this camera know that times are tough, and know that eventually everybody has an instance where they have to say, listen, I need some help, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal, right? That's normal. We're a very communicable species. And even animals are like that. Animals will go to bat for each other. They protect each other. They feed each other. They, go on hunting excursions. Animals, and they bring home, or they bring home food for their children. You know what I'm saying? I think it's mountain lions will go and catch, the mothers will go and catch game and bring it back for the kids. Wolves do the same thing. Coyotes do the same thing, right? Now, there are certain places where the man eats first. And I'll tell you something, back in the day, and I think this would have been in my grandmother's time, the husband would eat first. Yeah. The children would wait till the very end. The husband would eat first. And the wife, well, she ate after the kids, right? So she got whatever was left over, basically. So, there's different rules in different species. But so let's get back to the question. So what would keep me up at night? Worrying about my kids, worrying about my grandchildren, financial concerns, that keeps me up at night. Worrying about, how I'm going to survive next month. Am I going to have enough money to pay this bill or pay that bill? Yeah, that'll keep you up at night. But I have found a way to eliminate that. Okay, so what I do is I do meditation, I do manifestation, I do certain rituals that I have found online that help calm the body. I also take ashwagandha every day. It keeps my cortisol level down low, and so it helps me to sleep at night. It helps me to keep my emotions in balance. And there was a period of time there was a period of time when I couldn't do that. I had a heck of a time keeping my emotions in balance. I would go from anger, like within seconds, I would go from happy to anger. Yeah. But that came from the past that I had. The situations that took place in my life that kind of ingrained on me, where, there was a period of time where I didn't trust anybody. And I was very leery on, sorry, I'm very uncomfortable here. I was very leery on people that I would meet, new people. And I wasn't as open to joining new connections or having new connections in my life. I didn't trust people. And that's where that came from. That came from the past, where the people that I loved the most, the people that I counted on the most, the people that, and we're not talking like my childhood years, we're talking my life, right? Where the people that I trusted hurt me. And they hurt me bad. They hurt me emotionally, physically, psychologically. So the people that were the closest to me in my life destroyed that trust. I no longer had trust. And I knew that I couldn't count on people in my life to help me because they had their own issues going on. And even the people that could help me wouldn't help me because they were either self-centered or narcissistic, or had no use for me, right? And so I've been there. I remember going to visit a close family member, and very close family member. And I remember saying to that person, I worked, but I lived in a town that was far away, but I had a job. I had to get to it, and I didn't have enough money to make 2 trips because I was in the rural area, and I had to work the next morning in the city. Well, the next morning was payday. It was payday, and the place where I had a client was in the rural area, and I stopped at a family member's place to take a break, go to the bathroom, take a break. And normally, in any normal circumstance, this would be a place that you would go to. This would be someone that you would trust. And I said to this individual who had, there was other relatives visiting, and I said to this person, I said, listen, I have no gas left in the car. I don't get paid till tomorrow morning. There's a gas station here in town where you are. So I'm wondering, could I and it was a big house. And I said, could I spend the night and then go in the morning? Like, it'll give me a chance to unwind, to relax, to take the stress off my shoulders from driving all day. And, then in the morning when I get my paycheck, I can go and gas up my car, and then I can drive into the city and see my last client. And that individual looked me in the eye with this horrible, mean, nasty look. And that person said, no, you're not staying here. You can't stay here. I have company. Okay. Yeah, the person had company. Yeah. Two people. A big 5-bedroom house. I think it was 4-bedroom house. Four-bedroom house. Bed in every room. Nobody else was there. That individual slept downstairs. Those other two individuals, it was a couple, and they would sleep together. They wouldn't sleep in separate rooms. So there was lots of room. I said, well, can I not just crash on the couch? Like, I won't be any trouble. I don't even need to eat. Like, I just need a place to sleep. And that individual said, nope, you have to leave. It was winter. I had no gas in my car. And the place that I was working was about 3/4 of an hour away. Thank God for reserved tanks, right? Because in my car there was a little bit on reserve. It was night. I had stopped there after I had put a client to bed. Actually it wasn't night. It was going on evening. And so I had fed the client and changed the client and bathed the client and then stopped at this individual's home because it's the only person I knew there. And I was desperate. I really was. It was winter. It was cold. No, there was no way in hell. And the two people who were visiting, the one person, okay, that was related to me out of those two people, that person stood at the stove talking to the individual that I had asked if I could stay there. And that person turned to me and kind of gave me a smirk, like, who do you think you are? Well, I'll tell you who I am. I'm important. I should have been important in that circumstance. I should have been told, oh, yes, by all means. Mm-hmm. No. I was told to leave. Yeah, I was told to leave. And basically that they were busy and that I had to leave quickly. So I did. I jumped in my car. No gas, no money, no nothing. Yeah. And I started to drive that 3/4 of an hour back to the city. And the good Lord was watching me because it was cold. My heater wasn't working in the car because I was running low on gas, I think. I mean, I'm not sure, right? But yeah, and there's a lot of hills, like a roller coaster. A lot of hills there. And I remember I would go up the hill and then I would take my foot off the gas and I would coast down the hill, figuring that's going to save me some gas on that reserve tank. Well, I made it there. And I made it there to an old friend that I hadn't seen for I hadn't seen him for 5-6 years maybe. And I knocked on his door, and it was night. It had been evening time when I was leaving, and it was night. It was dark. And I said to the fella, I said, can I stay for the night? I get paid tomorrow. I don't have any gas. I have no place to spend the night. Can I stay? And you know what? The people with the least amount of resources are the ones that will help you. Yeah. Because this individual said, of course you can. They pulled out the mat. They made up the couch. They friggin' asked me if I needed to eat and made me food. So, the people that you think in your life that you should be able to trust, whether it be a partner, whether it be a familial aspect, whether it be a parent, sometimes, not all the time, and not normally. I mean, it shouldn't be something that takes place like this. This was totally wrong on that individual's part. And, everybody's got their stains that the good Lord is going to look at. And I'm damn sure that stain stayed with that person for a long time. And even after that person passed, there was no close connection to any family aspect. So the people that don't have the resources, the people that don't have money, the people that don't own their own home, the people that don't have anything like a pot to piss in, right? The old saying, a pot to piss in. Those people are the ones that will normally step up to the plate, the ones that will be there for you when you need them, okay? And in that case, that's what happened. This individual welcomed me in. The next day I was able to go get paid, my paycheck from the bank. I went and I gassed up and life continued. So, but if I would have fretted about it, if I would have said, how could you do this to me? I'm like important. I should be important. I should be more important than this individual because I'm related. And I was basically kind of like tossed out on my ear. So what I'm saying to you is that things like that, worrying about finances, yeah, that keeps me up at night. And it should. I mean, it will. With anybody, I think, right? Because you're worried about how you're going to survive. But I have learned over the number of years that this has happened. And this isn't the first time that this happened, where I turned to somebody that should basically care about me and ask for help. I learned very quickly to be self-sufficient, to be self-determinant, to be self-persevering, to be me, to be strong as a woman, to be strong as an individual, to be strong as a human, to be strong and to have compassion. It's where I learned to have compassion, because there wasn't a lot of compassion showed to me in my lifetime at any point. And so I learned to be somebody that had compassion for people who had nothing. And I really, truly, truly believe that that's why I got into the field I got. And I've worked in social work for almost my whole career. I mean, I'm not working anymore. I'm disabled, but social work and developmental work and special challenges. And when I had my business, I did it for the special challenged, right? The specially challenged. So I kept that aspect of my personality intact. But I could have turned into an individual with a very self-centered, very arrogant, very kind of like me-based personality, because that's what I was shown. Yeah, that's what I was taught. And I chose not to do that. And there's so many people in my life that I could say that, there has been things said about me because I refuse to get into that dynamic. Okay, I don't choose to get into that dynamic or into that familial, that close-knit group. I don't choose to be that person. I don't choose to be part of that group who focus on me, and they don't care about how other people feel. Okay, they don't care about the hurts that they extend on other people. But I'm a strong believer in karma, and I know that when I get to see the big guy, that I've got a lot of things I've got a lot of things in my life that I'm going to have to, talk about when I get up there. Yeah, I'm going to have to, basically explain myself. I know. I'm not stupid. I know. I'm not perfect. But I'm a strong believer in karma. And so everybody has their karma. And don't think that along that road somewhere that you're not going to run into your karma, because I have already. I have already got a few karmas back. I really truthfully have. And that's my lot in life, and that's the way it is. But those are the things that would keep me up at night. Concern about my close family members, my children, my grandchildren. There are two relatives that I would be extremely concerned about if anything happened to them, and they're two older cousins. They are young men who have had a very long work life, and they deserve a break. And if anything happened to them, I would be hurt. I would be upset. I got a soft spot for them because they have always been very close to me, and when no one else would talk to me or have communication with me, they would. And still to this day, they do. I mean, basically, they are the only two that I have communication with from the past. The only two. I've had a few people lately that have contacted me from the past and to say hi and, to say, how are you? And, it's good to see you still kicking, right? And so those connections, they bring a sense of belonging, right? And so as you're senior, as you're aging, that's important. That is so important to... I am having such a bad hair day. It's just this one little thing. See how I get off track? Anyway, so yeah, they bring a sense of belonging. So belonging to a group is an important thing. When I was a young girl, I don't know how this happened, but there was a period of time where I didn't have a lot of connections to anyone. And then all of a sudden I turned, whatever age it is, you go into brownies, and my authority figure actually got me involved in a lot of things. So my brother would actually bike me all the way into town so I could go to Girl Guides or to brownies, something like that. So, she struggled. She struggled with that, my authority figure, but she put the effort in at a certain time in my life, okay? Gave me that outlet. But I still wasn't, I wasn't the golden child, let's put it that way. I wasn't the golden child in the family in any way. I was labeled a rebel, and that's the way I stayed right until, I got married and left for good. And there was a period of time where I didn't have connection to any close-knit groups for about 20 years. And I was good with that. I was okay with that, because I found that once I had contact with people from the past, my life would take a downward spiral. And so I thought, you know what, the best thing to do is just walk away, and sometimes you have to. So part of my stress and part of the things that keep me up at night is thinking about the past, thinking about my life, and it was pretty tough. It was pretty freaking tough life. I didn't have it easy at all in any aspect. I did not have it easy, and don't think I did, because I did not. And there's not too many people that know me watch these videos, except for maybe my kids, but I didn't have it easy at all, not at all. And sometimes you have to rehash those memories, and sometimes I do. Not very often, not very anymore. I don't really rehash those memories, but I'm talking maybe 10 years ago, prior to my heart attack. I was living in the past, in my memory. I was living in things that had happened to me. I relived them over and over and over again, and especially at night I would relive them, and the heartache and the trauma, and it was horrible. And so I strongly do believe that, our thoughts are very, very powerful. And so I choose to live a life free of that, right? So I choose, when I go to bed at night, normally, except for last night, when I go to bed at night, I sleep right through the night. Yeah, I don't have a problem sleeping. When I say it's time for bed, my body tells me. I lay down, I'm out for 8 hours. Perfect sleep schedule, 8 hours solid. And it doesn't matter what time I go to bed, 8 hours later I'm up, and I'm okay with that. That's my body's schedule, and that's good for me. So but there was a period of time when I couldn't do that. I didn't have the ability to do that. It was all in my head, and I was remembering things, and so it would affect my sleep, and it affected my health. And it does. Stress, lack of sleep, lack of nutrients, not being able to get the proper food, the proper nutrients. Right now I have a routine, so I take vitamins, I take supplements, I do manifestation rituals, I do yoga, I do meditation, I listen to music that is not head banging and swearing and, devil worshipping kind of crap. I don't listen to that. I try to keep the music in my house. I keep it on a calm. It's a calm, very balanced level. I don't blare it. I might sing a little bit loud, And that's part of the outlet, right? That helps you. You need an outlet, whether it's singing, dancing, walking, exercising, whatever it may be. Even crafting is an outlet, and it's important. So yeah, the only things I think that will keep me up at night is the stress, and if I drink too much coffee. But the stress I'm taking care of, because the ashwagandha will balance my cortisol. The memories and the anxiety from the past, I've closed the door on that. There is no connection. There is no, nothing. I have closed that door completely. And I'm good with that. And sometimes I think that's what you have to do. If you find that there is stress in a certain environment, you got to walk away. If there's heavy stress in a certain relationship where that relationship is not worth fighting for, okay? And the ones that I had from the past, they're not worth rehashing it. The connections are not worth it to me. They're the least in my mind, the least. The only connections that I find worthy of concern would be my children, my grandchildren, and those 2 cousins I spoke of. And I have friends. I have a support network. So my friends, I don't have many, but the ones that I do have, they're loyal, they're strong, they're true, they're true blue. If I needed someone to talk to, I can pick up that phone and I can call my friend just in the other building, and I can say, listen, I need to talk, and that person would be there. So sometimes your connections are not necessarily those people that you would assume would be there for you. Sometimes they're not, of their own choosing, and that's okay. Everybody has self-choice, right? So I'm okay with that. I don't let too many things bother me anymore, except for maybe my health. And when I find something about my health that is worrying me or concerning me, and it may concern me at night, I may have problems with, maybe I found a cancer spot, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, here we go again. Let's hope that this doesn't go the other direction, right? That might keep me up at night, but I try to balance it out. I work on my health. If I see something that's not working, I do something about it. I don't sit back and whine and bitch about it and say, oh, my life is horrible and I'm just going to pass. I do something about it. I research it. I try to feed my body as healthy as I can. We don't need all the crud that's in that middle aisle at the store. We don't need that crud. We don't. It's full of preservatives and coloring and all sorts of stuff. I'd like to know who sits down in the lab to figure out what they're putting in the food and why they put it in there. Glue, right? Gluten will hold a product together, and we're eating that. So I haven't been lately. I've been making non-gluten crackers, non-gluten bread. I've been using rice flour, brown rice flour, things like that. So there are things that you can do to make your life better or to protect your life, to enhance your life, okay? So I choose not to have negative emotions. Now, don't think that I don't still hurt, because I do. I do still hurt about the disconnect that I have from those people in my youth, the people in my life that should have been closer to me, that should have loved me, should have cared for me, should have, at least been a friend to me, at least say hi to me. Yeah. I do remember this one instance. A family member, we had been on a road trip, me and a close family member. We had been on a road trip, and we stopped at this one relative's home, and I didn't want any part of it, but this other person did. They wanted to stop and say hi and form that connection, because they're family. And we stopped, and someone came out of the house and they said hi, and the other person said, well, I'd like to see so and so, can you tell them I'm here? So we stayed at the vehicle and we waited for the person to come out. Half an hour later, not even half an hour, 20 minutes later, they still hadn't come out. And they had no intention of coming out. Yeah, yeah. They stayed in the house until we left, until we bid adieu and we left. That was so hurtful and so disrespectful. But it doesn't matter. And you know why it doesn't matter? Because that connection was broken a long time ago. It was broken. It was broken before it even started. I never felt close to certain individuals in my life. Never felt close to them. They actually scared me. They scared me. Their dynamic, the way they treated me, the way they acted with me, the things they did, scared me. Yeah. And so I didn't want that connection to that individual or to that group of individuals. So I was okay with it. But I felt sorry for the person who was driving and the person who thought, oh, this is like family. This is someone who will accept me, who will talk to me, who will make me feel like I belong. It didn't happen. And that bothered me for a long time. So yeah, I still hurt. I just choose to close the door. I choose not to focus on it. I choose not to talk about it, except for on here. And there are no names mentioned. The only person that would know who I'm talking about is the person who did it, and they know exactly what they did. So, it's kind of like I'm not finger pointing. I don't care. But the truth is, if you don't know why somebody has disconnected from someone, okay, maybe you should really look closely to see what that dynamic is, because it's not always the black sheep who's to blame, okay? It's not always the black sheep that's to blame. The black sheep usually is the one that keeps their mouth shut until the final end, because they don't want to destroy anybody's life. The only one who can sit in judgment is the big guy. Not me, not you, not nobody, none of you. So anybody out there who thinks, oh, I hate so-and-so because they did this, or I think they did that, you know what? You're not the one that's going to judge them. Is the only one. So anyway, that's about all I can come up with about what keeps me up at night. And it doesn't anymore, because I take the ashwagandha, I work out, I'm basically getting my life back to me. I'm taking my life from the stresses in the world and the anxieties in the world and all those things, even the temptations. I'm taking my life back. And I'm going to live my life to the end of my life the way I see fit. So, no, there's not too much that keeps me up at night except maybe that coffee I had yesterday. So I'm going to have to cut that out. I'm very proud of myself, though, because I've been doing my sit-ups every night, and that was something that I was really lackadaisical on. So I did 55 sit-ups. So I'm 63 years old. I did 55 sit-ups the other day. The day before that, I did 30. Day before that, I did 25. So I'm upping my game. And I do it every day. I did my 55, or not 55. This morning, I did 30 sit-ups. And I'm going to do another 25 this afternoon. And then I'm going to have my OMAD meal, which is, everybody says, oh, you poor thing, you must be starving. No, I'm not. I'm not starving at all. Not at all. Just trust me on that. Not at all, okay? I eat good. I just eat it once. I don't eat it all through the day. I eat one meal a day. And I give my body enough time to revamp and to kind of kickstart it so that it can burn off those calories while I'm sleeping at night. And it's working. It's working. I am down to 128 pounds as of this morning. Yesterday, I think it wasn't 120. I think it was 129. This morning, 128. So, a few more pounds to go, and I'll try to stabilize my diet. I might end up changing my schedule where I eat breakfast and I eat a light lunch and then skip the supper. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that once I get to the point where I want to maintain my weight, but I'm very pleased with myself. And I set these goals for myself. Nobody else did. I did. And this is how I choose to live, and this is how I'm getting back my health. So if anybody out there is trying to get balance back in their life, you can do it. You can do it. And the big thing now is that I'm trying to tone My stomach muscles are toning. I can't believe it. Like, I'm shocked. I am so shocked about my stomach. And when I start getting when it starts getting really cut, I'll take another picture of it, because I did post a picture on one of my previous videos of what my stomach looks like. And I am 63, okay? Get that through your head, 63. Been through hell and high water. I have smoked 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day for 47 years. Not for the past 8 years, though. Clean as a whistle. Nothing. For the past 8 years. So I'm able to get my health back. So I want to get my body firm. And the arms are a process for me now that I'm dealing with. So I have to get some little tiny weights, because I do have, I'm not going to lie, I have some hanging skin and I can't afford to get it off, nor would I take it off. So I'm going to start, like, I still have muscle. It's just there's some lackadaisical skin there. So so I'm going to get some weights. I'm going to work on that. But life is a process. It's a learning lesson. You're put in this world, I believe, to learn a lesson. And dang, I can't wait till I graduate. So I shall see you in the next video. I think the next video is day 19. And so some of these questions are pretty tough. Anyway, I'm looking forward to answering day 19 and getting that done with. But we're getting close to the end of this challenge, and I have learned a lot about myself and what triggers me and what doesn't, and how I can move on from it just by thinking these questions out and having to answer them, to voice my answers. Because most of the time I would write my answers, right? And you need to, I don't know what you would call it. It's like saying it actually gives you more power. Like, I feel it gives me more self-power, self-determination, self-actualization, whatever you want to call it. I find that the power is in speaking the word, not just writing it, but speaking it. But writing it is a start. So I am speaking my truth through these questions, and I'm enjoying it. And it's bringing a balance in my life. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody or anything, because I can't. The only one I can point a finger at is right back here. I can't judge anybody else, because I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. So I shall see you on day 19. The good Lord be willing.